Miss Martini.
Hiya, lords. Guess who's back in the house? Now let's see who knows who I am. What's my name? Oi! That's Miss Martini to you. I'm not paid to be here. The least you can do is address me by my full title. And for the rest of you who've never had the absolute pleasure of meeting me before, let me introduce myself. My name is Miss Martini. Like the drink. Anytime, any place, anywhere. And I must have gone up in the world because, well, I've been asked to introduce the second half of the show this year. I know, I was ever so excited when they asked me. But, ladies and gentlemen, I nearly never made it. I mean, as you can see, I just come back off my hollybobs. Can we have a raise of hands? Who's been on holiday this year with their family? Let's have a look. Oh, quite a few of you then. Very nice, very nice. Now, me and my mum, we're going on holiday next year. Thing is, my mum wants to go somewhere posh. She said, I want to go somewhere with all-inclusive dining where we're waited on hand and foot. So I'm going to Turkey, and I'm putting her into a nursing home. Now, I say I just come back off my hollybox. I was meant to go to Benidorm, but I didn't quite get there. Let me tell you what happened. It all started going wrong before I even left the airport. I mean, planes were cancelled, my gate was changed when I was waiting for it, and of course they stuck me at the most furthest away gate possible. So, I went to Costa, got myself an overpriced takeaway, and then made my way from gate 5, which is where I was, to gate 5,632. And you'll never believe what happened. One of me flip-flops decides to break. Sends me flying face first onto the floor. I know. That's what I get for buying flip-flops off Wish. I say bye, I only have to pay for postage. I went down so quick. I mean, you know in cartoons when a man jumps off a cliff and his teeth come chattering behind him? It was a bit like that, but it was my eyelashes. I've never been so embarrassed in my life. I couldn't even bear to pick the flip-flop up. I just left it lying there and looked at it in disgust. I thought, you know what? I'm not going to solve the problem, but at least I can teach it a lesson. So I turned me back on it and walked to my gate. I say walked. I limped with one flip-flop on. And it took forever. I mean, it would have been quicker to get the toilet to Wetherspoons. At least in Wetherspoons you get a round of applause when you fall over. Not the best way to start a holiday off, ladies and gentlemen, but some things cannot be changed. A bit like what happened next. They sat me next to a nervous flyer. You know the ones that wet themselves when you open a bag of peanuts too loud. Nothing worse. I've never seen someone looking so uncomfortable putting a seatbelt on. She literally had it tied so tight around her waist, and nipples were in her nostrils. I said to her, hey love, it's meant to be a seatbelt, not a gastric band. Next minute, she's popping sleeping tablets like the Tic Tacs. On the upside, I thought I was going to have a nice quiet flight. So I thought. Just as we're about to take off, you'll never believe what she asks me. She says, how often do planes crash? I said, just the once. And then halfway through the flight, she's tapping me on the shoulder, only because she's noticed that the lights are flickering on the plane. I said, what do you want me to do about it? Do I look like I know how to change a fuse? I struggle most days changing me knickers. Anyway, she tries calling the air hostess over. But the thing is, she doesn't know what button to press, so she just presses them all. Next minute, I've got lights flashing at me, the volume's gone up, I've got wind blowing at me from all different directions. I didn't know whether I was on a plane anymore, performing the Eurovision Song Competition. I said to her, look, Karen, calm down. I said, the best way to get over your fear is to face it. And then I said, and flying is the best way to get over the fear of dying alone. Well, she must have cried herself to sleep because I heard absolutely nothing from her till mealtime. Then again, I was a little bit distracted. I was watching Magic Mike. The things I'd let him do to me. One thing's for sure, ladies and gentlemen. Channing Tatum is far more tastier than the rubbish I had to eat on that plane. It tasted like a mixture of school dinners and smelt like stale farts. Oh, and halfway through the flight, the boy behind me was doing the can-can. So every time I went to take a bite, I don't swallow with my fork. Times like that, I thank God I went to college. Because now I've got no gag reflex. It's all right though, because I slipped a couple of Callan sleeping tablets into his chocolate milk when he went to the toilet. He was out like a light by the time tea and coffee came. Now, let's talk about airport security. What a joke. I mean, how many people can you kill with a bottle of water and 200 mils concealer? Apparently quite a few. Yeah. I even tried telling them I'd rather be killed than have to see this face without any makeup on. He was having none of it. And there's me thinking I was going to get a nice, sexy Spanish security guard. You know, hairy chest on show, nice tan skin. But no, ladies and gentlemen, I got Barry from Manchester. And Barry from Manchester takes his job at airport security way too seriously. Barry says to me, "Have you noticed anything unusual at Alicante Airport today?" I said, "Unusual? Let's start with the fact that I've just paid €35 for a can of Coke and a ham sandwich." He then said, "Have you packed your own luggage?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Have you packed any weapons?" I said, "Weapons? No. I prefer to kill people with my bare hands." Well, I've never seen a man whip out a pair of handcuffs so fast in my life. And we all know that's a lie. I was kicking and screaming, and they dragged me off to one of those private rooms, and that's when they told me I was going to get strip searched and an internal. Finally, something was going to go right on this holiday. So, he put his left arm in, his left arm out, in, out. He shook me all about. He did the okey cokey, he turned me around, and ladies and gentlemen, that's what I'm all about. So while he's rooting around back there, I felt something a little bit sharp, and I said, "Barry, love, you wearing your ring?" He said, "No, it's my watch." To be fair, getting strip search is pretty much like all my dates. Lasted 5 minutes and I was stood there being looked at in disgust. Anyway, he finished off, took his gloves off, grabbed my passport, checked my name, he says, "Miss Martini, you do know it's a criminal offence to not take airport security seriously." I said, "Sorry, Barry, love. You've got nothing to worry about with me. I take bombs really seriously." Then I said, "Now can we hurry this up because we're on a timer?" Well, they had me in a police car and locked up in a cell before you could say tick, tick, boom. And that's another thing you can't say in an airport. Well, prison wasn't all that bad at first. I mean, I was looking around to my cell and I was thinking to myself, this must be, in prison, what flying first class feels like. You know, big TV on the wall, nice warm duvet on the bed. I mean, even prison food's going to be an upgrade from the rubbish I've just eaten on that flight. If only they'd give me a nice pair of sparkly shoes. At least then I'd look a bit more like Paris Hilton after she got done for drink driving. But they never. They gave me a hand-me-down cardigan and absolutely nothing else, so I looked like Rose West. So I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to make the most out of this little home from home. Relax. So I sat on the bed, kicked off my flip-flop. And then the silence was ruined. The door opens up, and in walks my cellmate. And you'll never guess who it was. Simon. And Simon, ladies and gentlemen, had a stutter. Well, that was 5 minutes introduction. That took 5 minutes of my life. I'm never getting back. I got to know him, and I just felt really sorry for him. You know, he'd never ever finish a sentence. I've got a smart audience tonight. Anyway, got to know him and he told me, I've been locked up for something I didn't do. I said, do you want a hand, love? Can I just have a few minutes for myself? Thanks. Get back to it. So, I said, what didn't you do? And he said, I didn't wash the fingerprints off my gun. Well, it was that moment I realised, ladies and gentlemen, I was locked up with a killer. I was fearing for my life. So I took my flip-flop and waved it in his face and I said, listen, you. I'm all right for a cuddle when the lights go out, but if you raise your finger even so much as an inch above my waist, there'll be trouble. I said, I know people like Jeffrey Dahmer and they eat people like you for breakfast. Oh, this is such a better audience. I love it. Anyway, needless to say, I didn't get me cuddle. And they got me on an early flight, so I didn't even get breakfast. But what I did get, ladies and gentlemen, was my suitcase back and my concealer. So I slapped on her face, whacked on a pair of heels, and that's why I'm looking so fabulous tonight! And thank God they did send me back, otherwise I would have missed the chance to talk to you lovely lot here in Lugashore. Yay! Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, cheers. Oh. Bottoms up. Mine always is. Ooh. Ooh. That was a strong one. Right, I'll let you guys get back to all your dancey stuff. And I'm off to the changing room because I've got a vodka and coke waiting for me. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you come home from work and you find me hiding in your husband's wardrobe, mine's a coffee and 2 sugars. Toronto!
Let's show some love to Miss Martini!